All right. Hey guys. How's everybody's weekend going today? Good? Excellent, excellent. I have been missing in action all week because I'm getting a new roof on my house, and it's a mess. It's a mess in my house. Getting your roof replaced is pretty messy work, and the contamination makes it really hard to do any sort of sterile work. So the roofers are off today, and I'm in my lab. Let me show you what I'm working with. You see all the debris? Oh man, let me actually see if I can show you outside. This is the worst lab condition you can work in. You see all this? It got all over my instruments. This is the lab. So I used to have skylights here. They're not there anymore. And up until 2 days ago, you could see outside. So anyways, let me get back to the lab because I'm sure this is not as interesting. But yeah, all of this has made it a little difficult to do sterile mushroom work or any kind of DNA work because it will contaminate. But here we are. So, and I've had some bags of grain that I've been meaning to inoculate. So I can finally get around to trying to do that today. And one of them is Panellus stipticus, which is the bioluminescent mushroom. So I'm excited because I've been waiting a long time to try to fruit these. But one thing I struggle with, this is my sterile bag of sawdust grain, and one thing I've been struggling with on these bags is getting my moisture content right, because this starts off as wood pellets, like hardwood pellets. So, you know, I can see like a decent amount of moisture in here, but we're gonna try to go for it. And then I have the Panellus stipticus, which has been colonizing for way too long. Like I did this in on June 8th. I colonized this grain with it looks like 10 milliliters of liquid culture, and it has pretty much eaten through all of the grain, and all this liquid fluid that you see is commonly known in the mushroom world as mite piss, mycelium metabolite, but they kind of, I guess, a funny name, mite piss for short, I don't know. So I'm going to take some of this and I'm going to break it up and I'm going to put that into my grain bag here and then let the bag colonize, and then hopefully I'm going to be able to fruit some glow-in-the-dark mushrooms. That's the plan anyways. So my experience with a lot of this is Hey Dan, my experience with the glow-in-the-dark mushrooms, or with any kind of mushrooms, is once you get your spawn far enough along, it's gonna outpace. Awesome, dude! It's gonna outpace any other microbes that might contaminate it, except for maybe bacteria. Like, one thing I don't like is I've had this sitting on my kitchen table for a while, exposed. Like, only recently I put this micropore tape, so any like airborne contaminants have been able to land on top here, but it hasn't really impacted the jar at all, because like I said, when you have your colonization gets far enough along, it doesn't compete as much. So what I'm going to do now is just basically I'm going to take a bread knife, because that's what I like to use that to break up the mycelium. And I'm wiping it down with alcohol. And it's not very sharp, you know, like it's a bread knife, so. And then I just take the jar itself, wipe it down really well. Then I have the bag. I don't know if you guys have made any of these bags before. I'm still kind of new to this as well. Oh, I got an itch from my eye. But you'll see, what I do is I put a little bit of paper towel here, and I got this from Fresh from the Farm Fungi. Pretty popular, no, not Fresh from the Farm. Who is it? I can't remember the name. He has like an orange logo, but very popular mushroom grower, commercial mushroom grower. But I think what it does is when you have anything in the pressure cooker, when it begins to cool, it creates a vacuum. And so you have to, ideally you open your pressure cooker in front of the flow hood or in your sterile environment. But I can't really do that because my flow hood is on the second floor and my pressure cooker is on the first floor. So I have to move everything upstairs into the flow, upstairs into my clean room. So you put the paper towel here. It's supposed to help suck up any spores and stuff like that. Instead of entering the bag, they'll enter on the paper towel, and you can take that out when you go to inoculate it. And then once it gets inoculated, I'm gonna put this knife and I'm gonna break up all the spawn. I'm gonna pour it into this bag in front of the hood, and then I have these zip ties here. And the idea is basically you just zip tie it off on the top. So let me move the camera a little bit so you guys can see that. So I'm just gonna wipe down, continue to wipe down the bag. And I'll wait till the last minute to actually open the bag. So I'm going to open up this though. Give it a little whiff. Definitely smells mushroomy. So I can't tell you that this is the right way to do it. I really don't know. I waited way too long. I just got busy and I couldn't really get to this. But I'm pretty sure this will be fine. I'm pretty sure this mycelium will be really glad to get some fresh substrate to grow on, because it is so colonized. And also should colonize very quickly because there's so much of it. And I just want to break it up as much as possible, because once it gets into the bag, you have to knead the bag in order to get it all mixed up, and it's kind of hard to get it mixed around in the bag. So the more broken up the pieces are, you know, you're trying to increase the surface area for colonization. That's really what's happening. And kind of why I like to use, on this one I use grain, but I really like millet or a round grain, because spheres have the highest surface area of any shape. So think about your spawn colonizing it. You want to give your substrate as many inoculation points as possible. So cool. So I have that broken up now, so I'm going to go ahead and take this bag, and I'm going to stand up because it's a little bit easier and the bag's tall. And hopefully you guys can see this, but remember I was telling you guys about the paper towel. So here's the paper towel, and I got a nice vacuum here, nice suction. I don't see too much moisture in here. I had that as a problem the last time I did this. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up and quickly take out the paper towel. Okay, now I got the top of it closed off. So So now I'm going to take the zip tie, find where the bottom of it is, and it's not very scientific, you guys. You just grab it from the top, bunch it together, take your zip tie, feed it through there. You want to make it as tight as you can get it, and you want to leave it up a little bit above the filter. So now I have this bag. See, I have the filter here, plenty of room for air exchange. Now you see I have all the spawn in here, so I want to make sure that I try to knead that spawn into the sawdust as much as possible, because again, trying to increase my points of inoculation, right? And this is not very scientific. This is just kind of the way that you have to do it. This is also why, like, I think more and more, yeah, I definitely will, man. I definitely will post this on YouTube. By the way, if there's anyone watching, I think there's only 2 people, but I did just launch my YouTube channel. It would be awesome if you followed me. If you like this stuff, no big deal. It's Everyman Bio. So, yeah, I like liquid culture, because liquid culture, I wouldn't have to deal with this part, right? I could just stick a needle in here, squirt my inoculant in here, and then the bag of spawn would do its thing. So, keep working this. I'm gonna move this. My phone fell down. So, I gotta stop doing that. I think every time I drop my phone, I lose a follower. All right. Now I have a nice big bag of Panellus stipticus that I will hopefully grow into some glow-in-the-dark mushrooms. That's my hope. So we'll see. It's probably about a 5-pound bag. If I were to guess, it's a 5-pound bag of hardwood sawdust in here. And there's also, this is called supplemented sawdust, so there's sawdust in here, or hardwood sawdust with bran, wheat bran, oat bran, which I think is wheat, but no, wheat bran. And you can get the wheat bran on Amazon, and for the sawdust you can get those bags at like Target or Home Depot or whatever. They're like $20 for a bag. So that one's done. And then I have this this liquid culture here. This is King Blue Oyster culture, and it's been doing really well. And this is really healthy, and you know it's healthy. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell from here, but it's pretty clear. I mean, the water is clear, but it's so full of mycelium that you can't really see through it yet. So, remember what I was saying earlier about the bag, how it would be easier to take liquid culture and use that to inoculate the bag. That's what I'm going to do this time around. So I have a second bag here. And let me grab a syringe and a needle. So I have syringe here, or needle here, and the syringe here. And these are definitely easier. Like, all I need to do with like one that is a liquid culture is I just like to clean the bag, and then when I open it, I want to immediately close it with a cable tie. go. Now I'm going to prepare the syringe to inoculate this one. So I just always like to clean the injection port really well. Take the syringe here, or actually I like to take the needle out first. Always keeping it pointed towards the flow hood. You want to have the most sterile things closest possible to the flow hood, and the least sterile things further away back. And I take that. So now I have my syringe here, and the next thing I'll do is I'll take my blue oyster culture and I'll just give it a good shake. That way when I go to draw a syringe full, I get a nice bit of mycelium in there. So I'll just take the syringe, stick it in there, and then I'm going to draw some out into the plunger. Now if you look, you can see, look at all of that mycelium in there. So it's going to just absolutely eat up this hardwood sawdust. See if I can show you how I'm going to do this. So I'm going to take the syringe and I'm just going to stick it into the filter, and I'm just going to try to squirt it all the way around the bag, like the perimeter of the bag if I can. And I want to be quick about it because I want to mitigate any chance of contamination transferring. So I got it in the bag. A little bit there, a little bit over there, there. Some on top. There we go. And I think, hey, just for good measure, why don't we give it 10 cc's more, just to give it a little bit extra culture to go. Not 10 cc's, milliliters. These are milliliters. So I'm gonna just repeat the same process in the same hole, and I'm just gonna squirt it all the way around there, making sure I try to get good coverage all the way around the bag. And that's done. So I can put the cap on it, and this is good. This is ready to go. Let's see, what else do I have? That's really it, you guys. So I have this bag here, which is going to be the King Blue Oyster, and then I have this bag of mushroom here that's going to be the Panellus stipticus, which is the bioluminescent mushroom. And so I'm excited about this one because this will be the first time that I fruited the Panellus stipticus, the bioluminescent mushroom, and I've been really wanting to get some cool pics. I've gotten some great pictures of the bioluminescent mushrooms on agar and in liquid culture, but I haven't fruited any yet. And the other thing I want to do is I want to get a spore print so I can start working on my own strains. I have some ideas about how to use the genetics in the bioluminescent mushrooms, and I really need to get access to like spores. And if you try to get access to spores, it's really tough. If you go online, you can only buy liquid culture of that species, but you can't get spores of a lot of these different kinds of mushrooms. Even for the oyster mushrooms, I think it's just hard to get spore prints for a lot of these things, and it's much easier for commercial vendors to just take a tissue sample, culture it, and then they can just propagate it very easily. Because, like I was saying earlier, the liquid culture, it's just much easier to like work with in general. So that's really it. I just wanted to like jump on and do a quick update this week because things have been kind of slow with my house getting re-roofed. And I'm gonna put this on YouTube. If you haven't checked me out on YouTube, Everyman Bio. Would really appreciate it. I'm up to 9 subscribers. So little by little we're getting there. I also have some really cool stuff coming up. I'm going to be reaching out to some investors pretty soon. I have a really cool genetic engineering business idea that I'm super excited about, and it's going to make me really busy coming up because I need to put together a pitch deck. I need to put together a team. So I'm like super excited about that. But also it's just going to be kind of hectic. And then also I have the DNA barcoding. So if you want to learn about how to extract DNA from fungus and then how to go through the DNA barcoding protocol, I'm working on that too. I just got to get my roof done because it's really hard to do any work when there's so much contamination and noise. So we're getting there. But thanks for joining. I hope you guys are having an excellent Saturday evening. And yeah, I look forward to seeing your updates. It's always really, everybody that follows me they seem to be really cool people, so I'm really excited about that. All right, peace and love, you guys. See ya.